evening, welcome to Leicester Fan TV. My name is Phil and this is our regular Monday night Fanzone show. So what we want to know is we want to get your views in, your comments in, your ideas, your views, everything to do with Leicester City. We are totally for the fans, by the fan. I'm a fan, Tom's a fan. Get your views in. As soon as you get some comments in, I can put them up on screen just like this. Good evening to Matthew Bond. Matty, how are you? Thanks for watching. Matty, what did you think to the match on Saturday? Obviously a 2-2 draw. Kevin is watching. Good evening to you, Kevin. Get your views in, Kevin. We want to hear what you've got to say. Franco, good evening to you, Franco. Anthony Beebe, lots of hellos to get us going. Get them in. Let us know what you think. There's loads and loads to talk about. Obviously, Leicester are currently second in. Good evening, Imtiaz. How are you? Get your views in, Imtiaz. Loads to talk about from Saturday's match. Some good stuff, some average stuff, not too much bad stuff, but there's a few bits to question. I know a few people want to talk maybe about Vardy and about various things. Good evening to Mirko. Hi, Mirko. Are you back in Holland? Hope you had a safe trip. Mirko joined us before the game, gave us his views. He came all the way from Holland, been following Leicester since 2009, says Mirko. But great to have him there. Not a bad game for you, Mirko. First half, not so good, but second half, very good. Andy says, defo a penalty, but happy with the result. Andy is obviously talking about that last-minute incident. Hassan says, what do Leicester need to improve? Get your comments in on that. Let us know. Few people having a grumble about Casper Schmeichel not moving off his line. Was he at fault for some goals recently? Was his distribution not quite as good? You get your views in. Don't listen to me. I don't know. Get in and let me know what you think about Casper. Neil, good day to you as well, Neil. Nice picture. Is that your dog? Imtiaz here says, why have we never signed a winger? This window confuses me when we needed one. A lot of people might think that. Do you agree with Imtiaz on that? Anthony says, if we're honest, we weren't that good on Saturday. No real passion inside. Do you know what, Anthony? I'm going to slightly disagree with you on that. I thought we were pretty darn good. Got to remember, we're playing Chelsea, who are a top 4 club, Anthony. I thought we were decent on Saturday, and I think we should have won it, if I'm honest. Franco says, thought Perez had a great game, so pleased for him. Still can't understand why he gets so much stick. Do you agree with Franco? Did Jose Perez have a great game on Saturday? Let me know what you think. Robert is watching from Tuscan, USA. Good evening to you, Robert. Can anybody beat Robert for our furthest flung fox tonight? I have to be careful how I say that. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, and Twitter. Here is Yog75 asking Bill Fox, somebody else on Twitter, who would you have? Talking about who should we have signed. Jack Marsden, good evening to you. Hope you're well. Tooney on Periscope says, Perez not good enough for me. Okay, well, that's different. It is different. Get your views and get your comments in. As ever, we're welcome to join tonight. Tom, how are you, Tom?
Right. Yeah, not bad, mate, not bad. Hey, what can you say? So
a big bag of questions there, Tom. Straight in, people talking about Casper, talking about Perez. Everybody's got their view, and I'll keep putting them up on the screen. Let's start with Casper Schmeichel, Tom. Quickly, what's your views on Casper?
I could count out on one hand his bad games to his, how many bad games he's had for this club, and there ain't that many. I did think at the weekend he could blame for the first goal. I think he's got to come off his line more for that one. Second goal, I mean, what can you say? It's just a great header. It's a looping header. It's back across him in the goal. You can't moan at that. But for the first goal, I think he's got to do more. We all know his distribution isn't his strongest bit of play. And there's a couple of times in the first half and especially in the second half where we tried to pass it straight down the middle and we got caught. But look, if we're going to slate Casper for having one bad game every now and then it's a bit tough on the kid, really. And he's done brilliant for Leicester since he's been in. This being his 9th season. Next year will be 10 years at the football club. So let's not get on his back too much. He knows when he's not had a game, and Casper's old enough and wise enough to take that on his shoulder and improve.
I thought he was all right against Chelsea, if I'm honest. But obviously I was sitting in the family stand and the goals against us were right the other end in front of where you sit, Tom. Do you think, was he slightly to blame That's it.
I just think the first goal, he's got to come and make more of a presence himself. He's very good at sliding along his line and, you know, hoping he gets that save. He's good at reflex save. Let's not get it wrong. He can pull out those great saves. We've seen it, but you're not going to get that every time when a header comes in where it got put. And you just want sometimes him to be that little bit more commanding when it's along that area, to be coming out and punching it. Don't get me wrong, it was a cracking delivery to the back post, but you're just expecting a goalkeeper of his stature just to be a bit more present in the box. And that's probably his little weakness, that he isn't the tallest. We know that, but he can come. Sometimes he doesn't come on the right times, and sometimes he doesn't come at all. And I think that's cost him on the first goal. Like I said, the second goal, you can't moan, mate. It's a cracking header for a centre-half to put that back where it came. For me, I'd be more questioning why we set up for zonal marking and put in Ben Chilwell marking their centre-half, and same with Chowdhury marking as centre-half. For me, Jonny Evans and Sancho should be marking centre-halves. We'd not be doing it. And Jamie hit the nail on the head. I'm sorry, I always say it, you should have your defenders, your right back or your left back should be standing on the post, or the weaker member of the team. So even if it was Chowdhury, for me, someone should have been on the far post. You always defend, for me, with someone on the far post from a corner. It gives your goalkeeper more of an option to fill the rest of the goal up.
Yeah, a lot of people agreeing with what you're saying there about the zonal marking. Chapper's put one on here, which I totally agree with, which is, can we stop playing with 10 defenders at corners now? We've got Jamie Vardy, one of the fastest players in the league. I don't know why we don't leave him up, to be fair, Tom. Just talking of Jamie Vardy, a few people getting their comments in about Jamie Vardy. Do you think he's fit at the moment?
No. Said it on Saturday. He didn't look sharp. I think he had, for me, I know Chelsea, first 20 minutes, look, I was quite concerned. Chelsea were bombing down our left-hand side for fun and whipping in crosses, what Casper was getting annoyed at. And quite rightly so, telling Barnes and Chilwell, go out and close the men, close the crosses, stop the crosses coming in, because they were all coming down that side. Vardy, then, for me, has the best chance of the half. He has to score for me there. I think a fit Vardy probably does lift that over the goalkeeper and puts it into the net, but just at the moment, he just does not look sharp to me in front of goal. What's a bit unfair on Nacho, who's been on a fine run of form, but we all know Vardy will get that chance in front of him. He has scored 17 goals this season, so honestly accept that. But no, I don't think he's fit. Hopefully this break now will do him some good, that he can have a good week away with the family, with his newborn, and get some sunshine on his skin and chill out. That's apparently what they need after so many games, 25 games into the season. Wouldn't we all like that? We've been working hard for a few weeks. But no, I don't think he's 100%, mate, if I'm honest with you. And Kelechi can feel a bit gutted not to be starting on Saturday. Sorry.
Yeah, Yog75 on Periscope saying Kelechi and Nacho getting better every game under Rodgers, which he certainly is. It's been a massive improvement for Nacho, hasn't it, Tom?
I just think he's having a manager who believed in him. I think that's a mad thing. I think that with any footballer, if you look at Barnes, he got believed in when he came back last year. Look, he didn't have the best November, December time. I think his performance is very poor, and he was looking to keep getting the starts. But Rodgers had kept faith in him. He's put an arm around him, even when he was under pressure, and said, just keep doing what you're doing. It'll come. And do you want fair play to him? It has come for Barnes and a few of the other players who weren't, a regular in the team when over the last couple of seasons. And for Nacho, it's massive. I mean, look, we all thought Nacho was out the door last Christmas, and then summer he's going. He ain't going to start under Rodgers, and Rodgers has seen the potential. And I think we've seen that with a few players. If you've got potential, Rodgers will work with you and try and improve you as a player and get your confidence up. And look, Nacho now flying. I mean, Perez takes a lot of stick, but for me, first season at Leicester, he's had some up and down performances. They've not been consistent, but for 5 goals, I think it is now 6 goals nearly, 5 assists. That's not a bad return. And I thought on Saturday was his best performance. Speaking of Perez, really, the biggest frustration for me is he can do some of the most hardest things, make it look easy. But when it comes down to the basic 5-yard ball or doing a basic pass, he mucks it up, and you're thinking, you've just taken it out of the sky, controlled it, skin you, man. A 5-yard pass you can't get right. So he's frustrating at times to watch, but there is some quality there in Perez, and it will come through. And I don't think Rodgers would have put his faith to keep playing him every week. He didn't see that.
Yeah, I've got a few comments here I'm going to put up, Tom, regarding Perez. I thought he had one of his best games. Zab says the same. Perez had his best game in a Leicester City shirt on Saturday. Needs to be consistent like that, and he will be a vital player for us. Andy Medhurst is agreeing. saying Perez played very well. Somebody on Facebook, out of the Facebook group, hello to you, says, looks like twins, Phil Holloway, you need to get a cap. I'll get one, Tom, I'll get one. Neil says, I think Brendan will be well placed to attract some decent players in the summer if we qualify for Champion League. Imtiaz is saying, loves Perez, and then he goes on to say, still shattered from seeing that Villa loss. I'm with you, Imtiaz. I'm trying not to think about it. I think that's the best way not to think about it. Chris Newbury says, Perez was playing some beautiful football on Saturday and some silly touches, which is what Tom's saying at times. Hopefully that'll push him on for consistency. James says, Perez very hit and miss. He was the same at Newcastle. Overall, he probably is one of our better wingers, certainly better than Gray. Gray not getting any game time at the moment, you might notice, like Mark or Brighton. I do think these are potentially players who are on the way out. I don't know, Tom, if you agree with me on that, but no game time for Gray or Brighton. Harvey Barnes, Tom, missed a sitter, but played probably one of his best games for Leicester, didn't he?
Oh, by far one of the best games. Like I say, the first 20 minutes, I think Chilwell and Barnes got a bit of a footballing lesson off Chelsea down that left-hand side, and Casper was getting very frustrated with them for not tracking the men and closing it down. But after we actually started to play ourselves out the football, after that 20 minutes for the next 15, Chelsea couldn't cope down their right side because Barnes was bombing on so much. I mean, for me, I still beggars belief that Reece James did not get booked when he completely mullers Barnes, who's not the ball past him. He's clearing behind and going through into the penalty area. The centre half isn't going to get him. He's clear, and it's not a yellow card. It's just a free kick. Beggars belief at the moment because referee standards did awful. Having said that, after watching Man City game yesterday, that was even more comical that a player can go down in a box and not get a second booking in Sterling. So at the moment, referees for me, the standing is awful. But going back to Barnes, what can you say? His performances are getting better again. He did take a bit of a low, and I think it is starting to affect him because he wasn't getting an assist and he wasn't getting the goals that he's being asked to go out there and get to help Vardy. But through January, the goal at Burnley, it's just giving him that bit of confidence. A goal in the FA Cup at home, has got his home run going, and look, he did get a bit of luck with the deflection, but you have to make you look by taking that chance. And I thought it was going to be a play for his goal. And hopefully that's the turning point for him for the rest of the season now. And a few of the other players, the performance of what was, for me, not the best we've done all season, but it weren't one of the worst. And I think by the first 25 minutes and probably the last 10 of the first half, it was overall a very good performance. Again, like I said, it's a good Chelsea team. They're no mugs. They've got some very young, talented players in their team. So Barnes can be, take a lot of confidence that he ran that side of the pitch quite well.
Jack says, was it a handball, Tom? Was it a handball or not?
Sick of the rule now, mate, if I'm honest with you.
Who knows what the rule is, Tom?
If you're going to go back to it, mate, if that isn't a handball, then we were very lucky on the opening day of the season when the Wolves player whose hands against his chest gets a handball given against him. Tell me the difference. One's got his arms up, one's got his arms down. They're both very... what's the word I'm looking for? Accidental handballs. They're not done on purpose, I don't think, but it's a handball. So either change the rule to if it hits your hand, it's a handball. Doesn't matter about natural position. I hate that word now. Natural. Well,
yeah. I thought in the summer we had changed the rules on handballs. I thought we'd changed it to if it now hit if it hit your hand in the penalty box, it was a penalty.
Exactly.
They seem to have now said, well, it's this unnatural or natural positions, which is the same as accidental or on purpose, which we had last season. Who knows what the rule is?
Exactly. And like I say, after Tuesday night at Villa Park, where it seems they didn't check the right one, was a bit comical. To then have another referee at the weekend who didn't sound like they even checked that handball. When if you look at the play where the ball's going to Maddison's foot on the edge of the area, who probably got a good chance of taking a touch and smashing that towards the goal. Not saying he's going to score, but even if it's an unnatural position, like they're saying, or natural position, his hand's down by his side, why do you flick your hand backwards? He flicked his hand out. So
Tom, I don't even know if that handball, I don't know if the handball against Chelsea was even VAR, like Andy's asking.
No, I don't know if it was, but from what I heard, they didn't check it. Now, that's awful, because what is the point of VAR? We saw yesterday VAR in its best, and that was the Man City penalty. Yes, it took 3 minutes more play before they finally gave it. Well, I think it's too long anyway. But there was a penalty in there, what the referee missed. He then saw the benefit that we found that Sterling had dived. And he did dive. He was already going to the ground before he got touched. So clearly it's a foul and a free kick, and then it should have been a yellow card to Sterling. VAR can be very good, but at the moment, for some reason, I just find it either the referees are bottling it in the studio because they don't want to make their mates look stupid who's actually refereeing the game, or they really just don't know the rules. Now, for me, there's one way to do this whole VAR, and it's the simplest way in the world. The people in the studio don't make the decision. They can say to the referee on the pitch, there's been a handball. I want you to go and have a look to see if you think it's intentional or not. That's it. Let the referee in the stadium go and have a look at a monitor. We've not had that once this season, a referee go and look at that monitor. It must be really tired from all the work it's done all season, that monitor, because he's just been sitting there. But for me, let the referee ref the game. There's no need for someone who's miles away in the studio to make a decision. Just say to the referee, there's been a handball. Have you spotted it? For me, you need to go and have a second look at this, where the ball possibly is going. Then let them call it from there. Let the referee have that responsibility, not someone who's sat in the studio.
I mean, Tom, I've just put this on screen now. It made me chuckle at one point in the game against Chelsea, because you had Chelsea fans and Leicester fans singing this in unison together. I can't say it, obviously, and hopefully people know, but it was just, I was laughing because we were singing it, they were singing it together, and it's just like, it's just spoiling the game. I turned to the guy next to me at one point and I said, I almost now, even when Leicester score, I almost don't celebrate, because I wait. I'm like, well, they're going to probably VAR it, and I'll wait. The first thing you do is look, the ref goes like this, and you're like, oh, it's going to, there's something up with it.
The chance from the cop end in the second half is this football anymore? That's to me. The game is gone. I agree with this today. Mourinho said yesterday, goal line technology, brilliant, it works. VAR doesn't work. Until it does work properly, or they're going to use it properly, get rid of it. If you really haven't got the what's the word I'm looking for? Balls, I'm going to say, to have take it and go against your mate on the pitch. What I think the biggest is, sometimes they're too scared to make the mate look silly because he's missed something. Then don't use it, because I don't get what the point of having someone sitting in his studio who can see the handball but won't give the penalty against it, and they will say, oh well, it was an accidental, his hand was in an unnatural position, because half the time they're not. I'll go to a game at the weekend, Liverpool, once again, how they've got away with this season, how many VARs. Southampton had a blatant penalty, should have blatant got taken out in the box. 30 seconds later, Liverpool go down the other end and score. Everyone can say it's rub of the green. I'm sorry, VAR was brought in to cut the mistakes out. It's not cutting the mistakes out. It's making it worse, because it's being highlighted, they're checking them, and they're still making the mistake on the decisions.
Chappers has put a post up here. Do you know what? I actually would agree with Chappers on this, like they do in tennis with Hawkeye and decisions. I believe in tennis you're allowed 2 questionable calls per set, I believe. I sort of agree with Chappers, almost let the managers have maybe 2 challenges a half, or 1 challenge a half. So, if a goal went in and they thought there was something fishy about it, they could use it as a challenge system. I don't know. It's just, could that work, Tom?
I agree with you. I think you look at cricket, it works in there. You have 2 opportunities in an innings, and in the over, 1 per half for me is perfect. Not like some suggest you should be able to challenge everything, but 1.5. Once you've used it, you've used it. So that could be for a handball. It could be for, a foul that you think is a foul. I mean, yesterday for me, how Raheem Sterling didn't get sent off for the tackle he did, I beg his belief, it's a red card tackle. It studs into the ankle.
Well, did you hear what they said about that, Tom? They said when they watched it, because when you watch it in slow motion, he's clearly got his foot over the top of the ball. He comes in, studs onto the ankle. It's clearly a straight red, isn't it? But they've said in real time, when you watch it, so they watched it in slow motion and were like, then they watch it in real time again and went, oh, in real time, it's not that bad. But who's making that rule up?
Yeah, but tell me the difference between that tackle, where Sterling gets a yellow, and the tackle Abanian made on the touchline against Palace the other week, and the VAR referee gave him a straight red card. There's no different. He's gone over the ball. He's took his ankle out. We all know the rule now. If you're going high, you're off. So there's no difference. Once again, it's two different referees who made different opinions and has different, rules in their heads.
Somebody on Facebook has said it's going to get worse. Look at the NFL. Don Cole, who does a lot of content for us, has been saying this for the last 2 seasons. He says when it comes in, you will get adverts in it. James, I agree with what James says here. He says there shouldn't be any of this conversation. The whole idea of this technology is to stop all the debates over what's a foul, etc., and what isn't. Yet it's even more controversial before. He agrees with you, Tom, and says it has to be the referee have the final say. I think we talk more this season about incidents and VAR and what was and what wasn't than ever before, Tom. We never used to talk this much about the ref.
No, I think the problem you got is, Phil, with the standing the referee and he's getting that poor, if I'm honest with you. I remember back in the day, we had some very good referees, Howard Webb, Clattenburg, these, Graham Poll when he had a good game once in a while. But there were some very good referees, even Riley, who's the head of the refs. He was one of the top refs in this league back in the day. We had a very good standard. I've said it for years. We've got one of the best leagues in the world. But we have the worst refs in the world at the moment, ref in the league. And I don't know why we keep bringing these youngsters through and chucking them into the Premier League games. And I think they're coming in too quick. They can't keep up with the pace. They can't keep up with what's going on. And at the moment, for some reason, it's probably the worst standing referee I've seen in 2-3 seasons now. It's getting worse. It hasn't gotten better from when we've had the first spell of question refs. But like I say, we never used to question referees' decision this much. The problem is because they're getting highlighted now with checks and stuff, it makes them look worse because they're making sillier decisions and hoping that the mate's going to back them up.
Tom, I'm going to finish on VAR just by saying I genuinely have been watching. I've been watching Leicester for a long, long time. It honestly is spoiling my fans' experience at a live match now, VAR, to the extent where I think if it carried on much longer, I could almost say I don't want to go sometimes because it is spoiling it as an event and an atmosphere in a big, big way. Listen, I'm fed up with VAR, so I don't want to talk about it anymore, if I'm honest. Let's look at Leicester. We're third, Tom. When Man City were playing Spurs yesterday, I was like, I wanted Man City to win to keep Spurs down there. But now Man City have lost. I'm like, well, we're looking up the table now. We're 2 points behind them. We play Wolves away, which will be a toughie. And then we've got Man City at home. Where can we finish, Tom, this season? We've got 13 games left. What's your little prediction for the next couple of games?
I've said along, there's not, like I said in the chat the other day when we were having a chat after the game, and I said, does anyone else feel that we could finish in that second spot? I personally do. I really don't think Man City are playing the best football at the moment. Yes, they had a couple of chances yesterday to take the lead against Tottenham and missed them. But if we can get something out of that Man City game, we've got every opportunity. We should be looking up. This season's been fantastic. There's been some blips along the way, but like any team who's got so many kids playing, they're going to have these blips in the season. The point at the weekend was a lot better point for us than it was for Chelsea. I can tell you that now because
yes,
the pressure's on them. They've got 3 out of their next 4 is against teams in the top 4 for the Chelsea. That's a massive gap. If we can get something out of the Man City in the Wolves game and they lose a couple more, that's not going to be far as pushing that Champions League spot. I think we worked it out the other day. It was 6 wins out of the final 13 would guarantee Champions League football next year. Well, considering but we've still got out of that 7 of those games is against teams out the relegation zone area who we've had better results this season than the top half of the league. Should have every confidence of getting those 6 results quite quickly. Get to that final game of the season at home to Man United and be able to love Harry Maguire's face in it with the season over. There's no reason why we can't finish the season second place behind Liverpool because Man City don't look like they can still drop more points than we will if we carry on with the games we've got left.
Yeah, I'm going to read out a few comments, Tom. Just Raj says results went our way over the weekend. Sides below us too inconsistent, which I agree with. Neil says the Man City VAR took over 2 minutes and there were 3 following phases of play before the game was stopped. Somebody's going to score a goal, Neil, one of these days while a VAR decision is still going on, and then all hell will break loose, if you ask me. James Hill says, I'm pretty happy with third, to be honest. Jack says it'd be nice to punish Wolves this season, next game, like they did scoring late last season. Hassan says, let's finish second, and then next season we can challenge for the title. Good fighting spirit from Hassan then. Will we ever play a game on a Saturday at 3 p.m? Says Martin. You can't see Martin, Tom shaking his head, because trust me, not every fan lives in Leicester. Tom has to come a little way to get to us. Aggie, hello Aggie. Great to meet you briefly, Aggie, outside the Blues Bar on Saturday. Hope you're well. Says, can't see us getting anything from the next 2 games, to be honest. Come on, Aggie. Get a bit more positive than that. Mark Charles saying we'll pick up 10 points in the next 5 games. We'll beat Man City and we'll need 2nd place and win the FA Cup. What a season. James says, I'd take top 4 place. That's the priority. Then we can really kick on. Andy Medhurst says, I hope we finish top 4 as I've had 20 quid at 16 to 1. That'd be tasty. Sportser, aka Josh, is watching. Thanks, Josh. Don't forget, Josh does us a video vlog on Leicester Fan TV YouTube channel every week. So go and watch the new one from Josh, which is up there following the Chelsea game. Tom, where do you think we'll finish?
I'd love 2nd, but like I say, I think if we finish 3rd, it's been a great season. If we can get to another semi-final in the FA Cup, we have every opportunity. Whoever we get in the next round with, let's hope Coventry, but whoever we get, we got a chance in that round. You never know for the FA Cup. I can see Brendan still going for that. He's only 13 league games to go. The lads have had a good rest in 2 weeks. And I know Brendan, we haven't seen it yet. And Brendan says, his teams get better going into the final part of the season. Well, he's got 2 weeks to get that team back to a bit more stability, and hopefully we can kick on. Look, nothing's easy this season. The Premier League is not easy. We've seen that this season the results have gone against the big clubs, for the big clubs. Everybody seems to be able to beat everyone on their day. I mean, look at the weekend. Who would have had that Everton 2-0 down at Watford would have come back and won 3-2? This season, the points tally as well, they're not big points. If you look at previous seasons, the top 4 already probably on 70, 80 points by now, 70 points, 60 points by now in the season, where it's only 50s, bar Liverpool is on that 77, is it now, points? So everyone could beat everyone on a given day. It's a very inconsistent season. The teams below us, the likes of Tottenham, Man U, Arsenal, haven't performed this year, what's given us that chance to go in there. So we need to grasp it. And look, you get Champions League football, it gives you an opportunity to sign better players. You said it earlier, Phil, but players will probably have to leave in the summer to open up some funds. It's not all about, I think with Promise fans, we all want to go spend 30, 40, 50 million on a player. Brilliant. But you've got to be at the financial fair play going into the Champions League completely different. So it's all right spending 50 million, but you've got to justify that wages on top of that 50 million. So if you buy 50 million, you're going to go to justify the 5-year contract, another 12, 15 million going to a player at a good level, probably a little bit more than that. So it's not just the 30 million, 40 million you're paying for him. It's the 15 to 20 million you're paying on top of his wages. I think you hit the nail on the head with players to leave in the summer with Gray. I can see Albrighton going back to Villa if they stay up next season. I think his days are numbered at the club. And then it's the hard, tricky bit, offloading the likes of Slimani, Silva, Mendy will be going on a free. I think Morgan might go, and I'd be quite happy if we let Morgan go. He's been brilliant for the club and everything, but I think his time's up. And then for me, bringing someone like Bennett to back strengthen the team. Benkovic has gone out on loan to get game time. You can get him playing lots of games and get him fit again. I think he's a very talented young centre-half to have on the bench, ready to play Premiership football next season. Fuchs, I think, might get one more year, but I've got no qualms about. I think he can do your job at this division for one more season. Mendy will leave on a free in the summer. He won't get off the no contract. The only one for me is Matty James. He's still got 2 years left. What's beggars belief, if we gave him another 4-year contract after the injury proceedings he had. For some reason, Rodgers already said he does like him. If he get him fit, he feels that he can do a job. And I think Kapuska will come into the fold next year. From what I've read and what I've seen from Rodgers, he spoke to Kapuska after the final game of the season at home to Chelsea last year, made it quite clear to them that he wanted to work with him. He'd seen a very talented young player who went to the Euros in 2016. And I think Rodgers will try and work with him. This season for Kapuska is all about getting match fit and ready for pre-season. That if he's going to have an opportunity, he's got to prove it in that pre-season period.
Tom, do you think we did enough in the transfer window in January or not?
I don't. I don't think anyone went out there so many signings, mate. So I don't think Leicester fans should be too grumbling by it.
No, but do you think we should have done more?
No, because you've got to think value for money at the moment, and the value for money in the transfer market isn't there. I know a lot of people say about signing the one who went to Tottenham, but who said we ever had an eye on this player who went to Tottenham? It's all paper talk. I think you've seen from the club, if they want someone, they'll go and get the person they want. They won't just sign someone for the sake of it. And I think for me as a fan, I appreciate that, because you're not just wasting money on someone that you're picking up someone else's, like, oh, Tottenham go sign him, let's go and put in another 5 million. Like I said, it's not just about the 35 million 40 transfer, it's about his wages on top of that. What's he being paid to go to Tottenham? Probably 150, 160,000 a week. Add that up over 5 years, you're talking another £8-9 million you've got to find as a football club. And like I said, next year, financial fair play in the Champions League is a lot different to financial fair play in the Premiership and all that malarkey. So we've got to have the revenue to justify paying the players' wages.
Yeah, I would have. I can see why Rodgers didn't get anybody in. It might have upset the apple cart. I would have liked to have seen us sign somebody. I don't know who, if I'm honest, but I'd have liked to have seen us sign somebody so we showed the rest of the league we were in this for the real business, the real deal. But obviously Mitrovic got injured, so I didn't know who else to say.
I understand the frustration because you want to show the league what you can do, but the lads have got us to third in the league playing the football they played. So in theory, you got back the lads who got you there, and I still think there's enough depth to get us to the end of the season without panicking.
Tom, thanks for joining us. I'm going to go through everybody's comments now. I'll let you go. Okay, thanks again, Tom. We'll catch up with you soon. Cheers. So thanks as ever for Tom. I'm going to go through your final comments here. There's been loads and loads of views in here. Somebody on Facebook says, forgot about James and Amati. Yeah, they're still there. Alex Green says, do we think Casper is the right person for captain? Can a keeper be effective enough? I think Evans should be given the captaincy. Alex, I've got to be honest with you. I agree with you. I think Casper at the back, he's lots of passion, but trying to shout from the back and rally the troops when there's 30-odd thousand people or more watching a game. I agree. I think having a keeper as the captain doesn't particularly work. It's hard for players to see what he is. Aggie says, what about Daniel Amati? He is coming back. Aggie, he is back, and he's been playing, I think, for the under-23s. Mark says we didn't do nowhere near enough in the transfer window because Casper is still there. Offload that dead wood. Oh, my goodness. Mark not happy with Casper, which is fair enough. That is Mark's view. Foxer says Jamie Vardy is terrifying me at the moment. Tell us why, Foxer. Somebody on Facebook user is saying, Kaputska, you are joking. Listen, I think Kaputska should be given a chance at some point. He's a very young lad, and let's see what he's got. Robert says, I am the Foxes' #1 fan in the USA. Robert, Don Cole will have a word with you about that. Anyway, he says, I've been supporting them forever. I get up early for every match, but sometimes can't get the TV coverage over here. Go Leicester. Hashtag Tuscan Foxes USA. Robert, if you're struggling for a stream, I'm sure people can help you out with that. Neither need a proven striker, or at least a plan B striker. I would agree with you on Facebook there. Jack says, I thought we bought Wilf back too soon. I think perhaps we did, perhaps we did. Terry, come on, mate. It's gone 8 o'clock. What time do you call this? You're going to have to watch it not live. Alex Green says, Marty was playing well until he got injured. He certainly was. Somebody else saying, give Jonny Evans the captaincy. Andrew says we would have won on Saturday with Ward in goal. Imtiaz is claiming USA heritage. Very good, Imtiaz. Whereabouts? An injection of quality is a breath of fresh air, fight for places and ups the level, says Mark Gatwood. Listen, I think, and Raj comes in here, says, hope some more academy players come and break through into the first team. Whew. What is this? Mid-season winter break time. We're all off to Dubai, apparently. Who's going on holiday? I think I'm not going to go into work for a couple of weeks. I think I'm going to give myself a mid-season. Anybody else having a mid-season holiday? All you sparkies, plumbers, electricians, waiters, mechanics. Would we all like a mid-season winter break? You bet we would, but are we going to get one? You bet we're not. So it's back to work 7 a.m. tomorrow morning for me and you, no doubt. And that means there's not even any football for us to talk about for next week. We'll still do a fan zone next Monday. Don't you worry. Me and Tom don't have mid-season breaks. Thanks for all your comments. It's been absolutely fantastic. And without your comments, we just don't have a show. Now, I have to say, as ever, thank you to these guys down here who help us do all this stuff, bring you all the content, help us buy more equipment. Thanks to Emergency Glazing Vehicles, Pink Vehicle Leasing, Tiger by Everard's, ADT Taxis, Peter Pizzas, The Fox's Arms, Hologram, Harlow Geek Life, and don't forget Bodie Hodges is our chosen charity at the moment. Go and support all these guys. That is the advert over at the end, but you know who these guys are. From me, Phil, from Tom, for joining us. Thank you so much. This is the Monday Night Fan Zone. Leicester City are third in the Premier League. Life is good. Cheers. Come on, it's time to go. It's finished now. See you all next time.